The Redcoats are coming! The Redcoats are coming! What's up, guys, and welcome back. We're here with a slightly different sort of period for Shogun 2. We are not in the pike and shot era at all. We are now in 1700 with the Rise of Empires mod for Shogun 2 Total War, which is very much still in development. It's very sort of like, yeah, early in development. But I've been luckily given some replays sent in by the main dev, who's also the main dev for Pike and Shot. Some of the guys there have been doing some playing some battles, sort of balancing out these rosters and giving them a go. And yeah, I mean, look, these uniforms are great. I mean, this is the first regiment of the Grenadier Guards, and they look amazing. The uniforms do look really, really cool. So yeah, this is, yeah, as you know, Britain and France and various other powers at the time are sort of battling to sort of establish their claims on the continent and further afield. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this mod sort of plays, how good it is. I mean, it looks really good. We still sort of have the scale as well of Pike and Shot, as we see. We've got big units here, like the Royal Irish Regiment Grenadiers, 150-man unit. 270 for a Queen's Regiment of foot there, which is a Grenadier, I think it is. That's what GRN is a Grenadier. So yeah, Queen's Regiment of Foot, Gren. Then I'm guessing, Prince George of Denmark's Regiment of the Foot. Is that Grenadier as well? I don't know. We're going to have to look at all these units. Maybe they're not. I'm not sure what the terminology necessarily means. But yeah, maybe. We've got another sort of one there. Queen's Own Royal Regiment of Foot. Got loads of different unique units. I think they do all look very, very vaguely different as well. Oh yeah, I think it is, because that's line as well. So yeah, we've got like Prince Carl's Regiment of Foot is line infantry. So yeah, he's got a lot of grenadiers as this player here. Whoever's playing this army. A lot of British grenadiers, whether they are just, you know, that's kind of what their type technically is. But no, but yeah, they do look very, very cool. Uniforms do all differ very, very slightly as well, which is very cool to see. And yes, of course, the Brits here today in this 2v2 replay are facing off against the stinking frog-eating Frenchies. And yeah, we have just a regiment of Lessar here. I like that we can see the names, and we can't necessarily see all the units at the moment, but Regiment de Lessar, so I guess that's where that regiment's from. It looks like there's a lot of cavalry over here sniffing about as well. Cavalry huge as well in sort of size. Yeah, 150-man units. So again, the mod are really keeping the scale of sort of, you know, the battles of this period. Same like with the Pike and Shot mod, massive units, which is really good to see. We do have lots of German units here because at this point, yeah, House of Hanover. So I'm guessing they do have the German troops amongst the British army as well. You have the Oldenburg Regiment of Foot there. The line infantry units, cool to see. They're in the white uniforms rather than the red uniforms. So yeah, we have lots of actually quite white uniforms here. No red coats. It's a lot longer further down the line. Yeah, lots more line infantry. We've got Edinburgh troops as well. Earl of Huntingdon's Regiment of the Foot. Very cool. So yeah, more Earl of Huntingdon. Yeah, then we've got some of the Queen's Royal Regiment there, which is Grenadiers. And then a whole bunch of more troops over here as well. We've got Prince George of Denmark's Regiment of the Foot. Loads of really cool units here. I think we're just going to kind of enjoy looking at all the units as they march forward, because I don't know when the battle starts. I imagine it's going to go in soon, because the French artillery is already firing at the Brits. But yeah, the cavalry there looking pretty cool. I think the faces look quite silly on some of these guys. This guy's kind of giving me like Lord Farquaad vibes. I don't know why, but he is. But yeah, if you'd be interested, anyway, on checking out this this mod, while the cavalry actually gets underway, it looks like cav fight going in. We'll come back to talking about where you can get the mod in a second. Looks like a Baron von Bülow here with his regiment of dragoons. Looks like he's losing that fight there against some of the French cavalry here, the Colonel General Cavalier. What cavalry is that? That's another sort of looks like another German cavalry unit by the looks of it. Looking at the name of the chap commanding, in the blue rather than the typical red of the Brits. Haven't got the Queen's Regiment of the Horse going in again. It looks like a slightly more elite unit because those are 195-man units. These dragoons, I'm guessing these technically dismountable infantry as well. I don't know, but the French look like they have sort of ended up losing that fight. The Brits looked like they were going to lose. The von Bülow dragoons certainly did look like they were going to, but they've since been able to win that fight. But anyway, yes, as I was saying, if you want to get this mod, I'll leave a link for the Discord down below, and you can also then get access to the pack files there as well, I believe. I don't believe it's on a ModDB sort of like, or anything, or Nexus mods or anything like that yet. I imagine As far as I'm aware, this is still very much a work in progress. Is this mod compared to Pike and Shot, which is very much more refined and done. Rise of Empires, I believe, is going to be getting a campaign as well. I believe this is definitely getting a campaign. Pike and Shot, maybe. But I believe Rise of Empires is going to be getting one as well, which is very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what other factions there are. I've seen Sweden's also definitely one. I haven't actually looked through the entire roster. I just kind of dived straight into the replay. So I haven't looked at all the other ones, but I have got another replay that if you guys want to see some more of this sort of content, do let me know in the comments. But I have got another one with France, England, and Britain. They are now, and Sweden are also in it as well. Sweden at this point in history still pretty good as well in the in terms of things. Gustavus Adolphus kind of had his time, and then it's King Charles the 12th or something. I think it is. It's like King Charles the 12th or the 10th, something like that. It's like the next big sort of like Swedish figurehead, and he's a great commander as well, and ends up like smashing the Poles and the Russians around quite a bit, and it actually brings meatballs to Sweden, which is always a cool little fact from his time in Turkey. But anyway, less about the history of Sweden. We'll get back to the battle at hand. But yeah, if you enjoy this sort of content, want to see more of it, do remember leave a like, subscribe if you're around here. It really does help out the channel. Got for John Churchill here, first Duke of Marlborough. I'm pretty sure he is related to Winston Churchill in some way, John Churchill. But yeah, Marlborough. Very, very cool. Wins the Battle of Blenheim, which is a very famous battle in British history, and kind of like cements sort of like, well, it kind of destroys the French hegemony over the continent, and it kind of like, you know, brings Britain to the fore as a great power once again as well, supposedly. We've got light infantry over here firing at French cav. I don't know if this French cav can fire whilst mounted. I'm gonna guess yes. Not, actually, because these guys got their swords out looking quite glum. They do have rifles on their back, or muskets, I should say. So I imagine they can maybe dismount and fire, or maybe they're just not in range. Maybe they need to get a bit closer. I do not know. We are on the map Tordesillas, for those of you that are interested. I don't know if this is a custom map as well, of course, which is also great. That's another big thing they're doing. There's so many maps. And looks like we're going to see cav going. I don't know if these guys can form square. I'm going to go no. Square forming is not really thing of this period. They just fired a volley into these redcoats here, and they are unfazed. I feel like these guys have over 250 guns. They have 130. You're better off charging, yeah. You're not going to win a gunfight, that's for sure. And there you go, in goes the cav. And like I said, I don't think you can form square. They are firing sort of whilst in melee. And the pipes are playing, which is glorious. And there you go, the Brits are being routed. Actually, my gosh, the Brits are getting routed quite quickly. It's a bit like the Napoleon Total War and DEI. Once a couple of units rout, lots of units rout. That is definitely how their morale system works. It works the same in Pike and Shot, and it's the same here. And as you can see, they're just going into so many more lines of infantry. I did not realize how vulnerable infantry is to cavalry, obviously, in this mod. It's really bad. It's sort of like, oh, these are the gendarmes of the Royal Guard in a red uniform, just to confuse everyone. They've shot into the side of the Earl of Huntington's foot there, and they're causing a bit of a mass rout there. Here comes the British cav to try and sort of rectify the situation. We've got the Queen's Regiment of Carabiniers. They're going in. What do they look like? Just look like redcoats, to be honest. Redcoats on horseback. Very simple sort of style uniform. But they should get rid of the French cav here. Whether they can then counter, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, they are absolutely smashing the Earl of Huntington's foot here, and a lot of these troops are being routed. I'm surprised there was not better cav protection from the Brits. Or even like just putting a unit into this building, I would have felt like would have been a good idea. So that's where the French cav came from, just to kind of secure that flank there a little bit better. British cav is now getting entwined with French infantry here. They try and chase off the gendarmes, the Royal Guard, and I think they're going to do it. What is this in here? Queen's Regiment of the Horse. I imagine they're going to get stuck into this French infantry here, which is in blue. This is actually a Guard of France. This is very elite infantry here, and it is starting to mow down these poor English horsemen. That is sad to see there. And I think that's going to be another rout there from the Brits. And there you go. That's not a good start there for the Redcoats on this flank. They've certainly had a bit more joy on the other flanks. My God, what on earth is that? The artillery? artillery gun crew here is a 6-pounder charging in a melee. I like to see that. And that cavalry there being routed by the grenadiers of the guard. They are going to reform up. They need to be careful not to shoot their own cannon crew, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know what that explosion was. I'm presuming artillery from somewhere firing down the line, trying to do some damage. Looks like again we're going to see another match of British and French cav here. It looks like the British player here is a better hold of his French opponent compared to on this side. The French player here being pretty aggressive with his cavalry and has actually paid off very nicely. His infantry is now coming forward. We've got the guard of the French leading the way, then regiment of the Tsar behind. Yeah, he's got 3 units of French guardsmen in the front here. In the blue. This is when the French are still ruled by the Bourbons. We're not yet at a revolutionary stage. As later in the 1700s, they will become a bit revolutionary. And we're certainly not at the period of Napoleonics. It looks like we're going to see the regiment of the Tsar come forward instead. Actually, we've got some guardsmen over here already wavering and breaking. The redcoats here with their volleys, firing 3 rounds a minute in any old weather. Doing a lot of damage to the French here. And I thought they were going to charge with the regiment of the Tsar. They're not. They're just forming up. There you go. Blast it away. And someone's falling back or regrouping. Yep, there you go. The Brits are routing. Yeah, they're routing. Prince of George's of Denmark's regiment of foot routing. Shameful display. I mean, these guys, are they technically, I don't know if they are technically even Danes or if they're Brits, but whatever. They're routing. They're doing a shameful display here. These are Germans that they're charging here. Prince George and his regiment getting smashed here by some French cavalry. And another mass rout sort of taking place here as the, well, these aren't the redcoats, but the Brits get sent packing, that's for sure. And that is not good. Again, British cavalry having to come forward here, trying to rectify the situation. Brits over here now being aggressive as well. I feel like this is not the right time to try and make an offensive elsewhere. I feel like they need to sort of rectify the situation they're in. Britain is also sort of turning the flank here, maybe looking to try and encircle some of the French. They are doing some damage to the regiment of Piedmont over there. And yeah, British cav going in. Is that going to be able to stabilize the situation? Evidently, infantry doesn't do well against cavalry and melee, but we saw the French guards repel some. And I don't know, maybe. It looks like they get rid of the regiment of the Tsar. Looks like they're winning most of these cav fights here. Yeah, against against the regiment of the Tsar. We're going to see a charge here from French cavalry as well. It seems like it's a really bold idea to just charge head-on into infantry. It might work, though. This one might make it. They're going to be charging into some of the German infantry here. And there you go. Looks like they were reloading their muskets while charging. That's crazy. I think morale's a little too low there for the French. I don't think they're going to survive that. Yeah, Colonel Jacques de Bouillon, Regiment of Foot. I don't know what that unit is. But yeah, we've got a lot of sort of French-sounding names over here and German-sounding ones as well. Colonel Tozin, Regiment of the Foot. That'll generally just be the guy that's raised that unit. He's named the regiment after himself. Very unselfish of himself. But there you go. Volleys over on that far side there, routing more French infantry. It's good to see there for the Brits and actually forcing back that flank there. You're going to get rid of most of those units here. It does seem like this melee is turning around in Britain's favor. The cav here sort of saving their bacon right now. And there you go. Yeah, the Guard of France route there. The British cavalry continues it. Very tired, but yeah, tired, not too bad. I'm going to see the infantry go in the melee here. The redcoats fix bayonets and go in. And can they get a rear charge? These British cavalry here now rear charge. And they can help break the French guards once and for all. And here they come. Slowly but surely. Here come the British cavalry into the back. Run them down, boys. Run them down. Very nice. And that should be the French guard dealt with, I would have thought. Shaken but not yet stirred. But this is looking bad for the Brits. Obviously, this is sort of the rest of that British army. He has kind of just got run down here. This is where the French cavalry is now being active. We've got to see some of the regiment of the Tsar there holding on. So, I mean, Britain's done a good amount of damage to this French army. He's badly bruised it. The other British player needs to move on. Start being aggressive. He has the cavalry advantage over on that far right-hand flank. But if this French player does end up winning, which I think he's going to do, the Brits are, like I said, putting up a good, sustained fight, and it's honourable to see. But I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to get 2v1, is what I'm saying, is the other British player who's to make a move soon. And he's going to get outflanked, more concerningly. Again here, British Cav going in. These definitely are firing well some melee, these guys. I don't know if that's really a no-no, but I imagine it is. British and French Cav duel with each other once again. We'll see who wins this one. Queen's Concert of June. Oh, this is confusing, actually, because they have the gendarmes, the Royal Guard down here. So everyone's in red. You've got to listen out for who's speaking English and who's speaking their dirty French tongue. And there you go. Looks like we're going to see a master out there from the Brits. I don't really have any hatred for the French. I just feel like as a Brit, I got to role play the hatred for the French, really. Makes it more funny. Oh, these Castellers regiment over here. These guys, they sound Spanish, to be honest. They might be from that sort of area. Also, by they're looking at their banner over there. I don't know if you can see that in the top half of your screen. It's not look very French. I actually have a bit of a look at that. Yeah, not sure what that is. I'm going to guess that these guys are Spanish in the French service. Castellers also fighting in a red uniform, which seems more like a Spanish thing than a French thing. There you go. They look like they're going to hold back these Queen's Regiment of Carabineers. Some of the British infantry is returning here, which is great. But it's already routed once. Not really going to have the effectiveness. The only thing is that France has kind of got himself encircled here. Oh, geez. Look at that mass rout, though, taking place. Look at that mass rout. I don't even know if John Churchill went into action, but his entire army here just routed. I was about to say he has been encircled on 3 sides here, the French player. But that doesn't matter now, because he's actually just unlocked that encirclement by just mass routing everything. Looks like, yeah, John Churchill's there. That's the other one, I think. I don't know where. I think, yeah, he just like lose his entire army, and he's lost his general. Therefore, he's finished. Like I said, this player needs to be aggressive here on the flank, and take advantage of the cav advantage, and then just move in with the infantry. He's got some really good grenadiers as well. I think he's got a better army as this player than the other player, who's just kind of got his army charged down and destroyed. He seems like he has a lot more British infantry units, which I'm not saying are better necessarily, but they do seem like they might be better. German ones seem to break very easily. He's got a lot of grenadiers, as we were looking at. They're very silly hats. They're mitre hats. It's kind of insane to believe that this game is, well, this mod is from Shogun 2, a game set in feudal Japan. But instead now we are in 18th century Europe, and it looks like it should be its own game. It's a little janky here and there, I feel like, still, but it looks really good. I'm generally impressed with these guys. I think it looks, yeah, it really does look the part. Queen's Regiment of the Horse here, moving forward. Not a lot of regiments named after the king. A lot of regiments named after the queen. I feel like at this time, we're on a king. We're on one of the Georges, I'm pretty sure. But it shows how bad my English history is a little bit. I feel like I can't remember which king we had until like. I don't know exactly when this is supposed to be set, it just says 1700. I don't know if it's actually quite yet the turn, if we're like 1700 or if we're further into it. It could be like Pike and Shot, we're going to have multiple eras, which might be the case. Pike and Shot has multiple eras for at least 3 different decades so far. May get more. Might be the same here. We're going to see the Regiment of Irish Grenadiers come forward here. You know, if I've seen anything from NTW3 and stuff like that, they're going to charge straight through the middle. Cav there has one, as we kind of expected. Oh my god! Someone just called in like a airstrike or something. That's insane. I think that's the artillery. There, the 12-pounders behind them. That's what's causing all that huge damage. They've routed the Regiment of Maine. I wouldn't be surprised if I routed. You've literally had hellfire rain down on you. The other Regiment of Maine, they're looking like they're going to go soon. Cavalry about to come in behind. Yeah, we've got Count Noël with his Regiment of Horse and a lot of other units here, all about to just smash into the back. Looks like we're going to see the French general, though, go in here. I don't know how good he's going to do. Claude Hector de Villars, he's charged in. He's just charged a Grenadier unit, the 1st Regiment of Grenadier Guards. It's a very good infantry unit. Will he be able to defeat it? I don't know. Will the Grenadiers take the glory of killing the French general here? Also in red. Everyone just likes red, it seems. Just emulating those Brits. Morale would say he's doing okay. He's a 75-man bodyguard. Doesn't look like 75 men, but yeah, so he's actually probably a viable unit to use in melee. And there you go, cavalry going down the French line here. They are going to rout a lot of these boys. It is literally a carbon copy of what happened on the other side of the battlefield, to be honest with the other French player. It looks like the Grenadier Guards are going to lose. I think we're going to see a melee charge here from the French. They're getting really close. Nope, they are just going to get really close to their line infantry, the infantry pickety there. Whether we're going to see Hector continue, he might do here. My gosh, yeah, look at that. Blasted those British unit regiments there. Point blank range. That has just devastated them. That is insane. It would be really cool to see if we get a war of independence like the Americans. It's all that period. It isn't really competing with the Empire 2, Total War, and with just generally the Empire. Is this sort of this mod? It really does. It's coming from the same sort of era. There's so many options for it. I really hope we get some other parts of the world as well. I like to see the Mughal Empire and the Marathas could be quite cool to see. I'm a big fan of the Mughal Empire myself, so it'd be quite cool to see them actually in the mod. In a total war for a change. It would be very cool to see. Still crying out, I feel like, for an Asia total war. I know we had 3 kingdoms, but sort of like a Central Asia, maybe a Mongol total war, like a Genghis total war. Why have we not had Genghis total war yet? Like Mongol total war. It'd be insane. There you go. They've messed up that French army over there. Now this small British contingent is a bit of trouble from the second French army that's arriving. I think we are going to finally see a bayonet charge. Regiment of Normandy trying something here. Not sure what's happening here. I think that might be maybe one of, I don't know, maybe that's the player himself, or whether it was just issues with bayonet charging. I don't know, but here we go. They finally go in. Regiment of Normandy. Formerly a British possession, or an English possession. But no longer. They've forgotten their ties to England. Another charge over here from the cavalry going in there. Actually, they're going to... I thought they were going to rout the British infantry. They look like they could go themselves here. Got some more infantry. Germans here look like they've returned. They've been blasted once. Looks like units rout quite quickly. Like, look at that. 250 out of 270. They are routing quickly. Morale is, yeah, tenuous for these units. It really is. I mean, he was kind of getting outflanked anyway. And then he got blasted in the face. His allies around him are routed. Cavalry just seems king. It really does. More cavalry smashing on in here to the French infantry. Regiment of Champagne. I don't know why I call it Champagne. More French guards breaking. Yeah, French guards routing there. I mean, the Regiment of Champagne will follow soon. Very, very nice. There you go. The French kind of making a new line here, blasting the infantry and the cavalry of the Brits. What's this? Oh, this is more of Castilas' regiment. There you go. Yeah, the French have sort of formed up. The Brits need to sort of form their line. Get the Duke of Marlborough needs to, rally the boys. He's getting maybe a little too excited. This is a glitch with Shogun 2. There's so many regiments, and certainly seems to be more of a thing with modded Shogun 2. Units that are routing sometimes just stand where they are. I'm really hoping. I'd like to see some Scottish units as well, or like some Highlanders. Yet I'm sure they are available, just probably not brought because they're obviously a very key part of the British Army in this period and in the next century. Waterloo and various other battles around Europe. Earl of Huntington standing strong in the face of the French. Give him a good volley, boys, and then fix steel and go straight in. Or not. Apparently run away. That's apparently what we're going to do. You bring shame to your earldom and Britain. You coward. Come back. Come back and fight. Yeah, it looks like Britain, I mean, he's not got set up really here at all for the second phase of this battle. After having won, he's kind of like going in bit by bit. The French have a unified firing line going on there. They have second lines as well up, which I imagine massively helps your morale. It's all because then your units aren't then concerned about flanks. They're concerned about exhaustion of the French units. More cav fights over on this side. This seems like where the Brits really want to go in, and I think this is the right place to go in. Looks like the Regiment of the Horse there rout finally, as the Regiment of Perigord here just going to blast friend and foe. I mean, if these are Spanish troops here, these Castellas regiment, who cares if you kill them as a Frenchman? It's just one less enemy to worry about. Because Spanish, another rival of the French at this point. And they all were big rivals, to be honest. They're all fighting for empires abroad at this point. Oh, this is a Guard of Scots here. Gendarme Scots. Says, yeah, Royal Scots Regiment. Cavalry unit. Can't tell them apart because they're in they're in red as well. You can barely tell them apart. They have slightly different uniforms. The Brits are in a bit more like blue and gold, and the Scots are in a blue and white. And there goes the general as well going in there. Hector's gone back in. And I think he's about to mass route here. At least his French army is mass routing. Well, that's one of the Hectors in there. Who's the other one? Is that another general over here? Yeah, another general here. That's another Hector. But he's mass routing his French army here. I'm not quite sure why. I feel like he's doing okay, but maybe they're just exhausted. I think that's come down to at the end of the day. Exhaustion. This British army's tired, but it's not exhausted. And that's the difference. It looks like Hector here is going to route the Cornelius Wood Regiment of the Horse. It does not matter, because his army is gone. And Britain is going to seal the day. Whether it should have, I don't know, but it's going to win the battle at great cost, that's for sure. It's an absolutely brutal battle. Thousands dead on both sides. But as usual, the French are running away. That's what they do best. Run away, back to Paris. The gendarmes of the Royal Guard have re-rallied, and it looks like Hector... I imagine if Hector gets too close, he might waver and break. I don't know. Or no, maybe not. He's a foolhardy man, is Hector, and he's charging into infantry here. Actually, they might be his own infantry. Charging into cavalry. He's routing those dragoons. Someone just needs to set up and start blasting Hector. If the French manage to turn it around now, I'll have egg on my face, that's for sure. But there you go. Finally, it looks like they're wavering and breaking. I generally was worried there. But yeah, I think I did kind of get Fim there, I think, in a little bit, to be honest. The British player just kind of fired whilst he was definitely in melee with that general there. And that's finally the battle. And there you go. Another victorious battle today. There you go. The British victorious in our first ever 1700 Rise of Empires replay. And I really enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was thrilling to watch. Very fast paced as well. In comparison to Pike and Shot, which, you know, I mean, it's due to scale, and also I think just because, you know, mass amounts of pikes and musketeers, they move a lot slower than, well, armies a whole century later, or nearly a century later. Yeah, they're a bit more mobile. But yeah, really, really good fight. I really enjoyed that one. Sent in by Danilo here, who's playing as the one of the British armies, and he also is the main dev for this mod. I'm really excited to see what he can do. But yeah, some players here you probably very much know: Danilo Legendarium, Dane Ironfoot, and Venny. All of these guys play like Attila and various other stuff. So yeah, they're all, you know, helping with the development of this mod. Dane here only getting 800 kills is kind of sad to see, but I think he was the French player that just got rolled, just stood his ground and waited for his for V9 to win his battle, which he did well. Very well, and he beat Legendarium by the looks of it. He took did some damage, but not enough. But yeah, look at the size of these armies. We've got like 11k on that side. It's probably a 11k on that side as well. Actually, if you just add those two up, yeah, that makes 11k. So yeah, insane size of these battles. So yeah, both evenly matched. I'll have a quick look at some of the kills. My gosh, look at the size of these kills. I think this could be quite a common thing. 914 kills over this Regiment of the Horse here. That's insane. 865 for the Count Noyel with his Regiment of the Horse there. 815 from the Dragoons. I don't know if this also comes from farming, but the cav was just like insane in this replay. 747 kills there for a Regiment of the Horse, the Queen's Regiment of the Horse. 300 kills for the Royal Regiment of the Foot there. The Royal Irish Regiment of Musketeers, 210 kills. 117 for His Majesty's Royal Regiment of the Foot. We didn't even see these guys, but I imagine they're technically a guard, or they're a grenadier, that's for sure. Yeah, there are the rest of the kills. I want to see the first Regiment of the Foot Guards. We didn't see them. They are there. 117 kills. We did see the grenadiers, which I think are the coolest ones, to be honest. They didn't get many big kills though. They're down here, 37. Yeah, sadly no big kills to them today. Churchill getting himself 10 kills. And there's all the artillery with very little kills. Then we have Dane here. I mean, he did not get a lot of kills. He only got about 800. And about a quarter of his kills came from his general, Hector de Villars, there, getting 246 kills. He didn't get massive kills other than that. Legendarium here playing as the other British player, getting 384 kills with his Dragoons there. His Dragoon, another Dragoon unit, Queen's Consort, getting 262 kills. 205 with the Queen's Regiment of the Carabineers. Queen's Regiment of the Foot, 187 kills. This is the best cav, his best infantry, sorry. There are the rest of his kills. You can have a gander at those. John Churchill did go into action. He lost only 4 guys, so I think he must have just mass routed his... Oh no, he lost 55, sorry. So he definitely, I think, got killed or routed just because of army losses. But he got 33 kills, so not bad. And then we have Vinay here playing as the final French player, the one that got a lot of kills and wiped out one army and nearly took a second British army. I thought he was going to do it. But his cavalry here, 728 kills. His gendarmes of the guard, 406 kills. 268 kills to the Royal La Marine Regiment. Is that a Royal Marine unit, maybe? I don't know. And then 263 kills with another cav unit. And then, yeah, there are the rest of his kills. If you want to have a look at those, some very, very good kills. The Guard of the French, they're getting 110 kills, not too bad. And his general getting 22 kills, which is also not too shabby. But there you go, guys. That is today's battle. I hope you did enjoy. Like I said, if you want to check out this mod more, I'll leave links for it in the description. Like I said, I don't think you can get it on ModDB or Nexus yet. You need to join the Discord to then access the files there, because it's very much still in early development. But it is very, very exciting to see another mod that could, sort of revolutionize and, give a very old Total War a bit more energy. But certainly a much loved Total War Shogun 2 as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to definitely be checking out more of this mod. It's really, really fun. I've got another replay all ready to go, and that will be out in a few days' time. If you want to see more, like I said, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that shenanigans. And I'll see you folks in the next one. Bye for now.